Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I am Joe.
I am Kaleb.
And today we are going to be reviewing the oh-so-beloved Square soft classic, Ehrgeiz. God bless the ring.
God bless this game. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah.
So initially, we had a few moments. There was some joke horror going on with this game.
What the fuck do you mean by that?
Come out and say it. Well, first we were like, let's just sit down for an hour. Let's just beat this fucking game and then review it. And then I was like, no, I think we should do the dungeon mode because it's the thing that I remember back in the day. Like, ooh, one of these days I'm going to spend some time on this. And then 10 years passed, and finally I got the chance. And then, of course, we sat down and did some dungeon mode, and it fucked us pretty hard.
Oh. It started off, it seemed like it was going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
And it was like the controls, the controls were somewhat intuitive in dungeon mode. And I was like, well, we might actually be able to play this. We'll talk about the rest of the game later. And then, what was it, floor 6?
Yeah.
Is when it just decided to be one of the world's hardest games.
Yeah, it got real crazy real fast. It's weird because they have some addiction to these roguelike games. They have to dabble every 5 years or so. They just dip their big toe in the rogue water and it's toasty, perfect. Water's just fine, and then they just pound out another random fucking game that's a dungeon crawler. This one was rough. I mean, I did beat it last night before I took my nap before I went to work. I've been playing it lately because I honestly don't have anything else going on, and I was like, there's never going to be another time to beat Ehrgeiz than right now.
Because it's the time to do it for the podcast.
Exactly, yeah. We're going to review it this one time ever. And I might never play it again. There's a pretty good chance of that. It'll just sit there as a decoration.
No, you don't think you're going to return to this over and over again?
I mean, I might have to go back for the mini games, because they were just so fun. Like Final Fantasy X level fun mini games in here.
That's what Final Fantasy X is known for. Great mini games.
Exactly. Terrible story, soundtrack, everything else. Mini games, though, amazing.
Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, is a 3D fighting game, if you guys aren't familiar with this. It's developed by Dream Factory, published by Namco, originally in 1998 for the arcade.
Yeah, so this is the beginning of the Dissidia NT craze, right? Because the other Dissidia games,
Dissidia NT had a craze attached to it.
The idea,
unless you're talking about the craziness of the people inside of Square Enix making games like that,
or the ones who decided that they had the crazy idea of, hey, let's put this on a PlayStation 4 and release it to the public. But this is the original. This is the OG. This thing was an arcade game, and you can kind of tell. I would say
I didn't know this actually until I looked up the Wikipedia page this morning.
Yeah,
in small preparation for this episode, and I was like, oh, okay, that all makes sense now. It also, underlines some things that made absolutely zero sense. So it does line up things now in retrospect, but when we were playing it, I didn't think this must have originally been an arcade game.
Yeah.
I didn't think that at all.
I mean, they did a real awful job of creating noteworthy, iconic characters. All they did was they probably gave the crew in charge of it. They're like, all right, guys, we need some iconic guy. We need a Ryu or a Ken or a Scorpion or a Sub-Zero or anyone else in the other games that I don't fucking play. And we want this out of this. And then they came back with God Hand, Yoko. And then they're like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Put Cloud and Tifa and Vincent in there and call it a day. And that's exactly what they did.
So, originally in 1998, and then they ported it onto the PlayStation, and that was published by Squareco. So Squareco, I don't believe, actually made this game, although there are some Square people who worked on it. And then eventually, by the way, it is out on PlayStation Network's Japan store. Or it was in 2008, so that would have been for the PS3. So maybe it's not anymore, but it was at one time on the PSN. For if you were Japanese, you could have gotten it.
Yeah.
Woohoo. It was directed by Seiichi Ishii, who I believe has made some other fighting games. He's got Tobal #1, Ehrgeiz, and The Bouncer. I've heard so many great things about 2 out of 3 of those games.
Yeah.
He was also a designer for the first Tekken game in 94 and Tekken 2 in 95. He also worked on Virtua Racing and Virtua Fighter. So he's actually like a pretty, he's got a hefty catalog there in the 90s. It was produced by a guy named, who I don't have any information on, Hirohide Sugiura. Guess who the character artist was? Did you see it earlier?
No, but I'm gonna guess it's the guy.
It's the guy. His name is Tetsuya Nomura.
Nomura was the one who did the art?
Was the guy who did the character designs.
See, I could see.
That not only includes the FF7 characters, but also the original characters from this game.
Huh, wow. I could see it being, what's his face? The other guy.
The other guy.
Oh, wait, no.
Amano?
No, Nomura. I could see it. Never mind. I could see it being Nomura.
Okay, it's definitely more on the Nomura end of things.
Yeah, it looks cheesy.
Yeah.
There's a chick with a fucking yo-yo. That's not.
Definitely less iconic in my mind, just playing it for a little bit. I guess I can see the German guy in my head, but that's about it.
Which guy's the German? The guy with the gun
I'm sorry, the guy who looks like a Nazi. I shouldn't say German. I should say Aryan race Nazi with a gun arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That guy. So the additions of the Final Fantasy characters, they weren't additions. They were Tifa and Cloud were in the arcade versions. And then in the PlayStation version, that's when they added Sephiroth, Yuffie, Vincent, and Zack, which we must have had to unlock because I don't remember 2 of those.
Yeah, I played as Sephiroth.
It was mostly Sephiroth, Cloud, and Tifa is what we were.
Yeah, pretty much. Yuffie is a guest character, Vincent, and then Django. Apparently Red 13 was busy.
Yeah, the dog. That's right. There is a dog whose name is Django.
Yeah, he is definitely. He's not. I wouldn't say he's totally unchained. He's definitely not chained, but he does have one of those things called the fucking where it's like a guard on your wrists and stuff. Like what are those manacles? Chainless manacles.
What the fuck do you call those things? Just ankle brace.
Oh yeah, he's not allowed to get.
He's not allowed to go any further than
that is porch. He has to stay 100 feet away from Red 13,
or else he'll get copyright infringed.
Yeah, yeah. I will sue you if you get anywhere near me, Django. You rip off motherfucker.
3D fighting game in the PlayStation 1 era. I just want you guys to think about that real quick, see how that would pan out.
Yeah, think about if it sounds like a good idea,
just think about the 3D ones from the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era, and see if a 3D fighting game would pan out very well. Just think about it. Anyway, they heavily got concepts from their Tobal series. So they wanted a 3-dimensional stage, of course, great for fighting games, especially around this era.
Oh yeah.
Filled with lots of interactive objects and changes in elevation, so you could jump onto platforms and shit like that, and mostly just get stuck. And then for the PlayStation version of the game, I guess they did this in Tobal #1 and Tobal 2. They added a quest mode, which is the reason why the quest mode is called Brand New Quest: The Forsaken Dungeon.
Yeah, so if you thought Ehrgeiz God Bless the Ring was a confusing and shitty title, Just wait. One of the half of the game, actually 3/4 of the game, consists of another game that's titled Extra Quest Bonus Dungeon.
Brand new quest.
Yeah, brand new quest.
The Forsaken Dungeon. And if we're just like, why is it called brand new quest? It's on the main menu of the game.
I know. Can you imagine that? Like, oh, I bought this game new. You put it in. Oh my God, another new game. This one's brand new.
God.
What the fuck?
It's kind of similar to other like things like Diablo and stuff like that. You got, and then you also have like, there's honestly like 6 games in here because there's like 4 other mini games.
Yeah,
where you can do like a race mode. You can go in like a circle to. I think you're supposed to like slow them down and beat them at the race, but we had no idea what the fuck was going on. There was another mode where it looks like a Go board, like the board game Go. And your character just like runs around and tries to get combos and fill up the board before the other player does. And then, yeah, the race mode is like you're on a beach and you're mashing buttons back and forth and magic happens and sometimes you beat the opponent. So yeah, and then the dungeon mode's like a hack and slash RPG. It's kind of like, I don't know, I got some Vagrant Story vibes, but way less in depth.
Yeah, it's not nearly as cool. I mean, Vagrant Story is awesome.
Yeah.
This thing was cool though. I think I'm gonna read the booklet here. I think this will help us.
Let's do some reading.
Yeah, let's.
I would read the prologue because when we go into story here, that'd be the time to do it.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it's a game of games, and exciting brand new games within the game, and very unexciting mini games that are confusing as they are hellish. And then like a 20-minute multiplayer, but if you do it that way, you're gonna have to start over like 6 fucking times.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, it honestly has no idea what it wants from me, and I don't know what I want from it. So,
real quick, there's a couple more things I want to go into about the making of the game here.
Oh, okay.
Mostly just 2 things. So there was Square put out like a sponsored Ehrgeiz Championship tour when it came out in the United States.
Oh wow!
For Electronics Boutique and Babbage's.
Man, how did we not hear about that?
Yeah, I know. Starting in July 10th, 1999, in New York, and so that happened. That's kind of cool. And then the soundtrack was Takayuki Nakamura, who of course worked on the Tobal series and stuff like that. He actually has like a big, huge like collection of works here with a few games that we've definitely heard of. So. Pretty active composer.
Yeah, a few games that made our assholes clench.
He's got some like Dynasty Warrior games. He's got that Peggle game that our friends have been talking about on Nude.
Oh yeah,
he did one of those games. He did one of the Star Ocean games. Not the music, but I guess the sound programming. So yeah, there's a couple more things on there, but that's basically all I have on the making of. It was. It sold over 200,000 copies in Japan by the end of 1998, and then kind of over the span of its whole life in Japan, it did 340,000. I don't have U.S. numbers here. Generally, decent reviews. It looks like it has an aggregate score of like 76% on Game Rankings. Got like a 7.5 on IGN originally. Famitsu gave it 32 out of 40, which actually sounds pretty bad for Famitsu.
Yeah.
So yeah, not the greatest of reviews, but not the worst. Okay, that's all I got on it. We're good. Now we can talk about the great world and the story of this game.
Prologue. 50 years ago, a mysterious weapon constructed from an unknown material was discovered in the remains of an ancient German castle. Yeah. The weapon came to be known as Ehrgeiz. It was presented to the winner of a tournament that determined the world's greatest fighter. In time, it became the name and symbol of the tournament itself. In the Middle East, under the command of a particular organization, an excavation site was constructed to explore the ancient ruins believed to hold the secret of immortality. Oh, wow, that's not what that thing had. However, the key to the final door of the ruins could not be found. Now, a legend has surfaced among the people, hinting that the mysterious stone embedded within Ehrgeiz may be the key to this door. The ambitious, hoping to finally unveil the mystery of the ancient ruins, are now set on obtaining Ehrgeiz in the championship tournament. Anticipation rises as the aircraft informing the public about the Ehrgeiz championship tournament flies around the world. What is it, like a fucking plane with a banner? Like, oh, hey, look, it's Ehrgeiz. Like, okay, so
on that airplane.
Yeah. Doop, doop, boop, doop, boop. So, like, I'm wondering here. Okay, so anticipation rises as the aircraft informing the public about the Ehrgeiz championship tournament flies around the world. So is it like dropping leaflets? Is it like propaganda?
That's the Ehrgeiz plane.
Yeah, it's just got like Ehrgeiz tournament coming soon, like a banner behind it.
Yeah, it's just flying like a couple 100 feet up in the air.
The exhilaration of the participants slowly begins to pulse through the air.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh,
throbbingly.
We're gonna have to cut the show off here a little bit. I'm getting a little hot in here, Schweiss.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go work one out. Keep reading this. I didn't realize this is 50 Shades of Ehrgeiz. 50 gays of air. All right, so anticipation's pulsating as they dump loads of pamphlets from the air.
I just about vomited there.
Yeah. Man. Okay, so I love the, before we get into this, I love the contents of this thing. So, prologue, getting started, controls, Ehrgeiz, which you honestly could fit in all of those. The screen, modes, movement, attack characters, guest characters, minigame, brand new quest, all capital,
all caps,
and then limited warranty. So, no proofreading needed here.
Schweiss, don't you remember all those great story moments in the game?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the modes. So you got the arcade mode. You fight against computer-controlled opponents. A second player can choose to join at any time, but fuck you over completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you keep going before we enter into like what that means.
Yeah. Versus mode. We fight against each other. Practice. Yeah, you can do that. I never even did that.
No. Who needs practice when you can just beat the game? When you could beat Schweiss and then you could beat the game.
Exactly, yeah.
25 hours later.
You can beat me and then proceed to take over my game in front of my very eyes, and I'm powerless. Then you got the mini games, of course, the Infinity Battle.
Because who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, it's like if you like this game a lot, you can play it forever. In this Battle Runner, if you don't like this game but also don't like having a good time, you can play this one that I honestly had no fucking clue what's going on. It's like a race around a track.
It's a race around a track with another character, but you're fighting each other, and then you have like some kind of health bar at the top, and then you have like a laps number. But if you go backwards, it like builds, and then you can like slow the other characters. But what happens at the end is nothing.
Yeah,
the game just like fucking ends.
Yeah, it just seems
it doesn't
like
tell you if you won or not.
Yeah. And yeah, that's true. I don't know if I feel like I was losing.
I have no idea.
I feel like I was playing Hearts and like my score was super high. Like when I'm playing Hearts on the computer as a kid, and I'm like, oh,
I'm beating the shit out of
you
this
guys
guy.
are idiots. I've got 200 points, bitch. And later you're like, oh shit, I was really bad at Hearts. That's how I feel like Battle Runner is. I'm like, oh, 47 laps to your 2, you fucking idiot. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think he just won, but it doesn't tell you.
No idea. It doesn't say game over. It doesn't say you won.
Yeah, it just kind of like fades to black, and then you're back in the.
We tried that. We tried it a couple times because I just tried one where I just tried to like beat him at the race until the laps went away.
Yeah,
and then the game just kind of ended. And then we tried it again where you like try to get like the bar to be all the way to the other side, and all it does is like creep back up.
Yeah, you just like kick the shit out of him, but then when he starts kicking the shit out of you, his health bar gets back. It's like a shared health thing.
It's so weird. I have no idea. I have no idea what goes on in that mode.
Yeah, you can reverse, change physical attacks, change special gauges, but I mean, again, no one knows what that means.
Battle Beach.
Yeah, Battle Beach. So it's basically a race that has like some jumping over very low to the ground sticks that are laying on the ground. That one is hard because you have to like mash X and circle like over and over again, like to the beat of your feet. And it's hard to like play.
Oh, is that to the beat of your feet?
I think so. I think you're supposed to like time it as if like.
Okay, because I definitely never won a race. I think I won once or something like that. Not a full one, obviously, but one of the rounds I won once.
Yeah.
I thought it was just go back and forth between the two as fast as possible, but I didn't realize there was any like visual element there. Because you know the instructions are so clear in the game as well, right before the actual game starts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Guess I should have looked at the booklet.
Yeah. So you got Battle Dash in there, Battle Flag, which is where you slide and then you rise to grab the flag, and then Battle Hurdle, jump, and then you lean in to win. I did win that one miraculously. It was really hard, and honestly, I almost just want to start laughing whenever I'm doing it because it's so ridiculous. I'm just sitting there like, and it's just silly. Like I don't know. It's like trying to survive being electrocuted in Metal Gear Solid, but like funny and really really bad at the same time. And 2 buttons instead of 1, so it's even worse. And then the last one, Battle Panel, which is a game that I don't understand. You basically just...
It's like checkers, but on a way bigger board. It looks like the game of Go, which I've never played, so it might actually play similar to that. You have to like hop over. You have 2 different. Oh god, it's a giant grid. You have 2 different characters running all over the grid, and you just have to step on the panels and like run to the panels as fast as possible. You start with a certain number that are in your color, and then the opponent has a certain number in their color. And in order to get their colors, like a combo to kind of change into your color, you have to touch the square that's not next to one of your squares, but actually like hop over, so kind of like checkers in that way, and then everything gets like flipped.
Yeah.
And of course, the computer character is a god.
Yeah.
And it's impossible. So we played it a couple rounds of that, and we're like, okay, fuck this.
Yeah. It's kind of like what happens in I guess Triple Triad. A little bit like when you flip the cards, and then suddenly like the computer does something, and it's like, oh, they're all mine now.
All rule turned on.
Yeah, it's all rule turned on, and you don't know how to play.
Yeah,
and they're trying to teach you how to play by destroying you.
That's right.
So that wasn't very fun either. Honestly, I guess the race one's probably the least awful. Even I don't know though. That one's pretty bad.
Well, you understood when you lost, and you understood when you won.
Yeah, I guess the rules were clear.
The rule and like the controls were. You got him, and that now kind of makes me want to like try it again and see if I could actually beat the guy. I just thought it was a button mashing thing, and believe it or not, like the best controls in the whole game, not from the fighting game, which is the actual game of Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, but rather a brand new quest.
Yeah.
So that actually like had some, I don't know, decent controls. It was a super simple game.
Yeah. So let's give it a little background here. So
Okay.
brand new quest, the Forsaken Dungeon.
What's it called? It's called Brand New Quest.
Yeah, and the Forsaken Dungeon at the same time. Not sure if that's a subtitle or just an alternate identity. So while the Ehrgeiz Championship tournament is being held, an archaeologist by the name of Koji Masuda is making his way towards the ancient ruins, which have been said to hold the secret to immortality. There, Koji finds a sealed staircase. Curiosity gets the best of him as he deciphers and unlocks the seal. Destiny awaits him. This new world is best described as a foreign dimension with remnants of ancient memories. In search of the spring of eternal life, Koji is drawn through the dungeon. Apparently, Koji Masuda is the father of Yoko Kishibojin, Yo-Yo Yoko. Is that what her name is?
Yo-Yo Yoko. She's got the yo-yo.
I thought it was Yoko on the thing. I gotta look now. It is. Oh no, it is Yo-Yo Yoko. I never read that as Yo-Yo Yoko. I read it as.
You just read it as Yoko.
Yeah, and I was like, what a stupid name. So I guess that's the thing. He's also an archaeologist.
As opposed to Yo-Yo Yoko, that's a much better name.
Yeah, that's fair. Claire Andrews is a prodigy who entered the university. I was saying that all the time. At the tender age of 16. She's an archaeologist student of Koji Masuda. Although she is independent, she is still considered naive. When Koji begins his journey, she abruptly invites herself to be his assistant. There are 2 modes in the brand new quest. The normal modes allows 2 characters to explore the dungeon at one at a time. The hard mode allows 1 player to explore the dungeon without the option of returning to the village.
Oh.
What the fuck? Yeah, good luck with that. Jesus Christ. Dude, I almost starved to death so many fucking times in this thing. I don't know if that's possible. You gotta get like some.
Who's won that?
You gotta get some serious luck.
God.
I had to walk back to the village.
There's
more
some
than
vegetable
once.
man somewhere in the world that won that thing.
Yeah.
That beat that game mode.
Oh man, that's sick. I didn't even fuck around with hard. I was like, this thing's fucking hard enough, man. Yeah, so this is a roguelike. It's a dungeon crawler. It's like Diablo. It honestly plays better than everything else in this game, which is weird because it's not even part of the original fucking game.
No, we haven't even reviewed the fighting in this game yet.
Yeah. I guess we could do that.
But you can go. You can. I mean, you're knee deep into brand new quest. You might as well talk about your experience with that.
All right, so brand new quest. We got our asses kicked in this thing.
It seemed so easy at the beginning too.
I know, and it was like that's actually pretty fun. Like it's kind of cool. You got some cool combos. It's not like the ones that we've been used to from the Final Fantasies, I guess, quote unquote, where with Chocobo's dungeon. And what was the other one? The Last Mission?
Last Mission, yeah.
Yeah, they were both turn-based. So, like, you would take a step forward, then the enemies would get their turn, then you would get your turn, they would get their turn. This one's active. It's ATB. Like, it's an action hack and slash dungeon crawler. So it's pretty cool in the beginning. You're like, oh, this is kind of nice. You can move around and do your thing, and it's not, like, turn-based, so it's really more action-y. But then it started getting real fucking hard, like real hard, real fast too. The first day we did it, we just kind of dabbled a little and it was like, whoa, this is brutal. And then we were like, oh, okay, let's save the game. We better save our progress. It's like, whoa, 70 gold. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like we got like 4 gold. How are we supposed to save? Yeah. And this just gets worse and worse and worse. Every time you save, it costs 10 more gold. Until you hit 700, and then it stays at 700.
Oh, I'm glad it stays there. Yeah, I'm glad it, at least lets you max out on that.
Yeah, although eventually I was getting a lot of gold for selling items that I would find.
Oh, yeah?
So I was able to save pretty often. But that took a long time. That was like, once I became rich, I like stayed rich, basically. So it's... I guess it's kind of real that way. It's
kind of like real life.
Yeah. You're just poor for a really long time, and then you
got enough asset management where you just basically don't have to worry about things anymore.
Yeah. And then you get to what you think is the end of the game, and then you get absolutely killed after beating the final boss, and then you have to come through as your level 2 female character who you have played 0 times. Yeah. So that's the thing that happens in the game. You get to the final floor. It's a 21 floor dungeon, randomly generated too. Except for when your game starts up, it's always that same game. So like if I die and then I load my game back up and I go in, the floor it'll have the same layout. Like it won't be different.
So it's as in like if you started a new game, it would be a different dungeon.
Yes, it would be randomly generated.
For that replay value.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it kind of has some replay value for this.
Oh, Jesus. Schweiss, this is your review. Just go for it.
Yeah. So I played it with Joe and it was rough, but like I had this just feeling. I was like, you know what? I beat Dark Souls 2 this year. Like Dark Souls 2 took me so fucking long. It was like a 74-hour game. Oh my God. And having not COVID gave me the chance to do it. Otherwise, I don't know if I'd ever be able to finish that game because it's so fucking long. And I was like, am I really going to be beaten down by a game called fucking Ehrgeiz? I don't even know what the fuck that means. Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, with the fucking neo-Nazi with a pulverizer dildo arm and Cloud and some bitch with a yo-yo and then this fucking dude who's just there.
Dude
in a robe.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Yeah, he's got his kimono on. I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to lose this game.
This game looks like a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I started playing it and I got to like floor 6 or 7 and I was just clearing the whole floor. I was like, all right, we're going to clear everything out.
Level up.
Yeah, get our shit together. And I just kept dying. Like, I kept reaching a certain point in the game where I would just die, like, over and over and over.
Real quick, to interject, there's no information on how to play dungeon mode all the way through online.
Oh, really?
I couldn't find a fucking guide that was worth anything. It just told me how many floors it was.
I kind of found a guide. And
you did?
Well, I found one when I was, like, freaked out at the fact that I got to the end and my guide just got blown up. And I was like, what?
So you had the right search terms?
I think so. Okay. I must have found one. But it wasn't like detailed because it's hard to detail a game that's random, I think.
Yeah, that's part of it.
But they did tell me that you need to go in as your secondary character and go rescue your first character. So then what I ended up doing is just level grinding and then...
Just playing the game again with the other character.
Kinda. I'll explain what I did.
Okay.
So it was really rough. And like I've got this fucked up schedule right now where I start work at like 9:30 at night and I get off at like 8 in the morning, which is brutal because that's when my wife starts her new job, her new area at her job, and she's in a lot of meetings, so like my sleep is just fucked. Like I can sleep for like an hour here, 45 minutes there. It's really bad. Like I hate it and it's fucking me up. But it gave me plenty of time to do Ehrgeiz. So I'm playing Ehrgeiz and I'm like not going to sleep. She comes down and I can go take a nap and I'm like, no, I got to play some Ehrgeiz. And I'd knock out another floor and a half. And then because of the fucking inn prices, the saving, it's not even an inn. It's just save wherever the fuck you want. But you have to pay. And like the money, it just gets more and more expensive as you go along. And like... It's so pricey that I've got to like decide. It's like a healthcare analogy. Like I got to decide, am I willing to maybe die without saving this game? And a lot of times the answer was yes. And I would lose like 20, 25 minutes at a time of just going through leveling, gathering items, getting my shit together. And then I would just come into a room and then the most horrifying thing would happen where the fucking doors, like the like shutters on the windows just come crashing down, and then it's like
all the time
ambush, and then you have to kill all of the enemies. Like you either have to survive for fucking ever, which is not going to happen early on because you're not only taking damage, but you're slowly starving to death.
That too. There's an energy thing.
Yeah, you gotta survive, and then you have to kill. You have to wipe the area of enemies before more spawn in.
By the way, not unlike Chocobo Dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does the same shit.
Yeah.
And I just kept dying. I kept dying over and over and over. And like I would get to a certain spot and it would just kill me. And so I decided probably about 5 days ago that I needed to start this game over again. And I started it over.
No.
Yeah, I started it over completely.
No. What the fuck? You didn't say that?
Yeah, I had to. I had to fucking start it again.
No!
Yeah. But in the game, you find these most holy recipe books. You'll open up like a fucking a door in the dungeon, and then there's like, you know, the fucking like mirror set up from the Mummy with like the light flashing off of like the different spots, or like the fucking scene in Lord of the Rings where they find the like book on the pedestal and like the lights shining on it.
Yeah, it looks exactly like that.
Yeah, and then you open it up and it's a recipe book and you have to take it to the fucking chef. And then the chef tells you how to play the game, which I don't know how that makes any sense. But you go there, and so what I did is I was like, all right, I need some fucking attack, I need some fucking HP, and I need some defense. And the way you get this is you have to alter your character's diet.
Yeah.
To like increase certain stats.
Did we fuck that up?
Yeah, we fucked it up, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how I fixed it later, because I basically had to eat what I found.
Right.
I was like the ultimate scavenger.
All we did was eat.
Yeah, all the time, endlessly. Or this is extra binge eating. Apparently beating the shit out of like jellies and bats and skeletons really
tires you out.
Yeah,
dude.
it gives you a fucking huge appetite. So I went in and I was like, all right, I looked at the recipe books and I was like, okay, I need protein and lipids. Keto is the only way to play this game. Although the game does claim falsely.
Got your macros down, bro?
Yeah. It claims that mushrooms and onions have a lot of carbs. I guess onions have a little bit.
A little bit.
Mushrooms, I'm pretty sure, have 0 carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Most everything in this game is straight up like ketogenic / straight up like fucking paleo diet. Like it's grass, mushrooms, and big ass hunks of meat, which sounds fucking awesome. So like I basically just altered my character's diet, and dude, it got to the point where I had so much health that I would just like be starving for floor after floor. So you can
fucking cheese this game.
Oh yeah. And what else? Another thing that I did, I decided like after I got to a certain level, I think it was like level 17, I was getting real sick of like floor 10. It was pissing me off because I'd get trapped and then I would die, or I'd almost die and I'd have to teleport out with a fucking dragon wing item that you can use anytime. It's kind of like Diablo, it just sends you back to town. Unfortunately, though, this is a little side note, but every once in a while I would like fuck up when I was navigating through the town, and if you accidentally go into the dungeon again,
every once in a while,
yeah, your teleport, there's like a hole, it's like a well in the middle of the fucking town, and like you get a little too close and the game's like, oh, you're in, and then instead of being able to use my teleporter again, I'm just gotta fucking start on floor 13 no matter what.
Is that where that well starts?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So there are numerous entrances.
So that's the halfway point, basically, right?
Yeah. There's 3 different entrances to the dungeon, and this is kind of like a cool little shortcut thing. And this is something Diablo did as well, if you remember. Like you can pop out like over near the cows and shit at a certain level, and then you can just walk to town. And there's like a few of those in Diablo 1. It's similar to that. I think it's like floor 1, floor 6, and then floor 13. And those are the shortcuts.
Okay.
After a little while, I got real tired of like floor 9 to 10. It was pissing me off. And so I decided, all right, I'm going to go buy a bunch of potions and just fight the fucking squid monster that we were trying to fight at the very beginning when we were playing. We never would have been able to beat him, by the way. He has like probably like a couple thousand health. We were hitting him for 1.
Oh my God.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to power this squid to death. I'm just going to play the squid till I kill him. And luckily I was able to kill him the first try, but to get into the dungeon on that floor. So once you kill the squid, it lets you go in on floor 13. So now I'm on floor 13, and I've skipped like 4 floors, and I'm thinking I'm like way smarter than this stupid game called Ehrgeiz. And then floor 13 is like fucking rough.
It's called New. What is it called? New Quest.
Yeah, brand new entrance, new quest. And I go in and it's rough. It's rough going, but there's also like a cheat. It's like a cheesy way to fully heal and fully feed yourself. And the way you do it is you go back to the interdimensional hotel and bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk to the other character. And then when you talk to them, you can like switch off as that character, and it will fully heal and fully feed you. So you'll basically go back, and it's like a nice reset for your dude. Okay. So I went into floor 13. I kept digging deeper and deeper into floor 13, and then would just go back to heal up for free and just gather everything I found. And it got pretty fucking sweet. Like I was leveling up fast. And so I did kind of skip a few levels. I had to pay for it in the end, but I paid for it like really quickly, and the level up progress was way faster. And I kind of did that until I got to the end of the game where you fight the Phoenix, which is, of course, the thing of immortality that you're searching for.
Okay.
But instead of immortality, when you
That's
beat
a good Dennis Quaid movie, Fight of the Phoenix.
Yeah. Does it explode on him and he dies even though he's clearly at full health from the bottom of the screen? Because that's what happened to me. So I beat the Phoenix. It explodes. My guy's like, "Whoa!" It does this death scene where all of the shit just flies out of him all over the place.
Yeah, it just erupts.
Yeah, and then I'm playing as the bitch back in the hotel, and I'm like, oh shit, like what the fuck just happened? And I had this like little thought in the back of my head. I remember our good friend, our Final Fantasy 11 war buddy, telling me on the Discord channel, Shori, I played the game until I had to play as the secondary character, and then I stopped playing the game. And to me, I was like,
just a distant memory of someone stating that.
Yeah, 3 days before this.
oh, that was this week.
Yeah, okay. No. It was recent, but it was like it tipped me off because at first I was like, "What an idiot! Like, just don't die, you nub." And then my guy blows up, and then I'm playing as the chick, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, this is what he was talking about." And I'm like, did I level this?
He probably did the same shit we did.
Yeah.
It's just like, just play as the dude. We'd start with him,
Yeah. And then I open up the menu and this chick is like level 2. Not only she's like level 2, all of the equipment, all of the goodies on the other guy. Every bit of it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can go in. I still had the money because we can put it in the interdimensional bank.
Of course.
Allowing you to share money between... I don't know why it has to be interdimensional. It could just be a shared bank account between this fucking two people.
Just give her your PIN.
Yeah, just give her the PIN and she can, go to the gas station
ATM,
for it.
Yeah,
go to the ATM. And, I've got money. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to play this as the chick. And luckily, thank God... I did this. I decided I had a bunch of money, right? I had a lot of money.
Tell me about the money you had.
So much money. I was rich. And I was like, okay, I need to save my game. But first I'm going to buy some really good equipment for her. And I knew it was going to put me over the cap of being able to save because I knew the price of saving was very high. And it was. And so I bought her some really great equipment. And then I was like, I'll save later. I'm going to go into the dungeon, level up, see what I can do. And I go into the dungeon. I'm fighting some guys. And then she starts to starve to death. But my little bonus cheat of going back and switching characters, that's not there anymore. Because the other character is unconscious on floor 21 right now.
Okay.
So I go into the bank and I'm just like, fuck. I don't know what to do. All I'm doing is thanking God I didn't save the fucking game. And so I just reset the game. I turned it off. And mind you, I think I was on floor 15 as the guy. So I lost 6 floors right there in this fucking bonus quest, extra dungeon, Ehrgeiz, God bless the RNG. And so I load it back up. And I make a decision. I'm like, okay, we're going to get to floor 21 with the guy again. I'm going to kill the not final boss, dragon boss. And then I'm going to use a bat wing that makes the most horrendous sound you've ever heard when you activate it. It's like 80 times louder than everything else, and it sounds like shit. And then I'm going to go back to town, and I'm going to just play as the girl and just level up the girl. And it was pretty sweet. Like, I had fucking crazy equipment as the dude. Since I didn't get blown up in the dungeon, I had all my shit. And I just gave it all to her, and she's level 2, and I'm going into like floor 13 with this bitch, and I'm like,
power leveling.
Fuck yeah! I power leveled the shit out of her, dude.
Girl.
It was awesome. It took me maybe like, I want to say probably like 2 or 3 hours to get her up to like level 45. And he was at level 70. My guy was at level 70, so he was like a beef. He was fucking crazy.
He was a beef.
Yeah, it was a big slab of beef full of lipids, as it were, which increase your health, I'm pretty sure. Because you got that fat layer, like gladiators, little fat layer. When you get a slash, it doesn't fuck up your muscles.
There you
go. So I leveled up to about level 45 with her, and for some reason, my plan was to like save the guy with the girl, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in like mid 40s. I'm gonna see if I can go kill this guy. And so I go in and I hit the final boss. I take him out. She gets blown up, and then I come in as the fucking level 70 truck, and I just like level that shit. I fucking just crush the rest of the game.
Nice.
And then, dude, the ending so fucking dumb. Like, I get up there and I fight the Phoenix. Or no, I don't even think I fight it again. I just walk in. No, I can't remember now. Honestly, it was such an easy fight. I just can't even remember. I go in, I get the item, and then it asks me what I want to do. Do I want to resurrect my student? Or do I want to just leave the bitch? Apparently, there's 4 different endings.
Oh.
I didn't get all 4. I'm sorry, guys. I know I probably should have for the review.
More of a completionist, yeah.
I know, yeah.
On this bonus
quest that took
bonus mode in this game.
10 hours of my life. Mostly because I sucked and had to start over. I guess you could say twice, considering I had to play it again as the girl. And I was like, all right, yeah, we'll resurrect her. So I used the power of the Phoenix to resurrect my student. And then I got like a quarter of a screen of text, like text flying away from me. And it was just saying like, you found the secret. The secret was, the ability to bring people back from the dead, the Phoenix down. That's what it takes to get a Phoenix down in this world.
What it takes. What does it take to get a Phoenix down in this world?
Yeah. Apparently it takes a fuckload. And then, you get a game over screen, which is interesting.
The fuck?
And then you can load your game back up, which I did not do. I just turned it off, pulled the disc out, and was like, all right, time to put this on the shelf.
Shot it with a shotgun.
Yeah. And then went on my merry way. That's it. Yeah, it's true Conan Exiles style. Like, you beat the game, and Conan Exiles...
For those of you who haven't listened to Nude Clan in hours and hours of Conan Exiles talk.
Yeah, I'll give a little taste here.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
We play for, 200 hours, and then we finally get the ability to remove our bracelet, which I know sounds insane. Because, why would you want to release yourself from this world?
Yeah.
And all you get is a cutscene that's not even like a private cutscene. Like, you got other players fucking cutting across your screen because 4 of us beat the game at the same time. And it's so fucking lazy. There's other dudes walking off. It's so fucking lazy. Like, the A4 Extreme is walking off into the desert. Roxo's cusping over the hill. And then my guy starts out, and we remove the bracelet, and then it's just a shitty ass, awful cutscene of your guy just
just walking,
just mindlessly walking out of through the barrier thing that kills you instantly normally until you're out of sight, and then the loading screen pops up, and then it's at the character creation screen. That's the Conan Exiles ending. That's it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is fucking it. It's you know what? I spent 200 hours and you can't even give me a customized cutscene. You give me a fucking...
You can't even give me a pre-rendered cutscene.
Yeah, you give me a fucking camera angle of an area in the game with other people there. Just slowly walking off into the distance for way too long. Just to then be like, all right, now you want to do it again? Which, of course, the answer is, oh,
Yes.
fuck yeah. Yeah.
It's the journey, Schweiss, not the destination.
Exactly, yeah.
Clearly, that's the lesson of Conan Exiles.
Yeah, that's the true lesson.
And Ehrgeiz, God bless the new quest mode.
Yeah,
Forsaken Dungeon.
God bless the Forsaken new quest, brand new. Yeah, man, and that was it. I beat it last night, probably like 7 p.m., seriously, the last 40 levels with the girl, it really only took me like 3 hours, probably, if that. I don't even know.
God.
But I put the how long to beat time as like 12 hours for this thing for me. Just counting all of what we did combined. And starting it over was kind of rough, but I don't know. As far as the dungeon crawler, like roguelike, I guess, as stupid as that is, I never even played Rogue. I've just played things that are like it over and over again for the show that has nothing to do with Rogue.
It does have something to do with it. Cloud's in a different part of the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Completely.
But I did buy his Buster Sword.
Nice.
Yeah, there's weapons and shit in there. And that's where I laughed. The one time I laughed in this game, it was Sasuke. It said, I have the armor of a techno ninja, and I laughed pretty hard at that. It's like, what the fuck is a techno ninja?
The armor of a techno ninja.
Because you find like items that are from the characters in the game. And I bought Cloud's Buster Sword, but it was obsolete in like 4 seconds. Because once you like start getting into the game starts like, okay, now you got to buy a sword for like 5,000 gold, and I'm like, whoo.
5,000?
Yeah, but when you do, it's like
Jesus.
it's like 80 attack power. It gets pretty sick. And what I ended up doing to beat this game, guys, by the way, I got really obsessed with the two-handed weapons because they do more base damage. But I knew all along, and we were talking about this when we were playing. The way to do it is like to get a sword, like a one-handed sword and a
Just
shield.
like Diablo.
Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah.
It's way faster.
You want the speed.
And so what I ended up doing to like go deep into the dungeon when I was level grinding or just trying to like get to the end with the dude when I thought I could just beat the game. I was all excited about like, oh my God, I'm going to beat it. And then it fucking nuked me.
You did?
Yeah, I did. But I bought like 3 or 4 of the base sword, like the base one-handed sword that they can sell later on. I can't remember. It's like a diamond sword or a mithril sword or something. It was like 400 gold each. It wasn't too expensive, and I could buy multiples of it.
It was on the first 6 level.
Oh, yeah.
You telling me 400. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think the most gold I had right before I beat it was like 10,200 or something. So you get up there, and then that 700 to save your game just feels
not
like
too bad.
chump change.
Chump change, yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, you got to like really think about like, do I want to save my game right now? Like, is what I did worthy of copying to this memory card? And it's like that's another reason why I had to restart because it was it was too expensive to save my game because I had saved too many times. I was too careful. And so I like had to go fucking balls out. Like, no saving. Saving is for the weak.
9 saving.
Yeah. 9-7 Ehrgeiz.
9 saving is it, I guess.
And yeah, so I grabbed like 4 or 5 of these swords and I just like kept fucking equipping the next one in line when it like got weak and almost broke, or I would just break it completely. And I would just descend into the lower levels. And then I just kept doing that. And then I would have the dragon wing attached to my hotbar so that if I started getting like super fucked, which still happened occasionally, like I would get like in these modes where I just couldn't fucking not get hit over and over and over and over and over again because the game's a relentless prick.
Jeez.
And I would just have to activate that and it would instantly teleport you out. But my guy got so fucking powerful that like I would be starving to death for probably like 3 floors and it would do nothing to me. And the guys would hit me and they would do like 6 damage max. And I've got like 460 health or some shit, so it's just barely dropping and I'm starving to death. I don't even care. So it got really overpowered. And my defense was just through the roof based on my build. So it did end up getting a lot easier later on in the game. and I would just pound through until all my weapons were pretty much broken, and then I would teleport back to town, repair all my shit. There's a function in there where you could like offer food and shit to the gods of the world, and they're supposed to like imbue your weapon with their power or whatever. But I never really figured that aspect out.
Okay.
They would give you their stat boosts, and then you could then combine the weapons. You remember the combine function that we were just like,
okay.
the fuck does this do? They would then combine their passive abilities together is what it was supposed to do, but I never got it to work, so I don't actually know what the fuck's going on with the blessings of the gods.
Well, maybe, I wouldn't put it past them to have forgotten a small part of this, sprawling game.
Yeah, the Greek gods.
Since we don't have a game over screen on at least one of the extra game modes, who the fuck knows? No game over, no you win.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's true. There is still no you win because you beat the game and it just gives you a game over screen. You don't ever win. That's what Ehrgeiz means. It means no win in German. There is no victory. There is only more.
Yeah. So the reason why I didn't play this, I don't think we've actually explained this on the episode, but maybe we have. The rule is you get the credits, you beat the game. That's our rule for Nude Clan. It's kind of a default rule for UFF. The only time we haven't done that is with World of Final Fantasy, where, of course, there's like more story after the credits. So for that game, we went ahead and played some more. For this game, I didn't care enough to play past the credits that we got in the arcade mode. And now that I've read, of course, that this brand new quest, Forsaken Dungeon, is actually just an added mode for the PlayStation version, I definitely don't feel bad about this. We were, when we started out, we have talked about a few times, like, doing the other mode in Ehrgeiz, and obviously Schweiss did do it. I did it up to floor 6, and that's, I feel pretty good about that. I'm glad that you have it under your belt. You can hold that over me or whatever you decide to do with it, but...
I doubt I'll do that, but...
I don't regret it. Anything else about it? Like, was it good?
Yeah, I actually kind of like it. I really do.
Okay.
I think it's less of a fuckface than Chocobo's dungeon, mystery dungeon. At least that game was real hard. Even when you beat it, like I beat it the year we beat it, and then I bought the everybody version, and I beat that one too, and it was still hard. Like it never got easier for me in Chocobo Dungeon, regardless of my buddies playing along with me. And this one, it's a little clunky. Sure, there were times when I was trying to use the knockback ability, and I would just sit there and jump over and over like a fucking moron. Sure, it was extremely unforgiving at times, and I lost a lot of progress because I just couldn't quite afford to save my game. But once you get into the groove of it, I do think it is pretty fun. The learning curve is massive.
Steep? Is it FF11 bad, or...?
I didn't want to cry, so no.
Okay.
I didn't want to cry and quit the show, so no. This was a much less public thing, though, too. 11, I was streaming the game. Like, I couldn't even figure out how to equip my weapon. Like,
your lip was trembling on camera.
And thank God there was someone there to, like, walk me through, or else...
Hold your hand. Come here, buddy.
Or else I don't know if we would be here right now. But, so no, it's not 11 brutal as far as, like, no info, period. But there is no info, period, on the game. It's just, if you're going to play this thing, I recommend playing the dungeon mode. I think it was fun. Pay attention to the books, the holy books of recipes. Good luck with the stock market thing in there. I forgot to mention that. There's like a wine selling market.
Yeah. It's completely random.
It is, yeah. And I lost money basically every time I did it, and I was like, "Hey, fuck this! I'm not going to gamble on the wine stock market in this game. It costs money to even look at. Fucking rip off."
I mean, you gotta have you used to have a grand in order to open a TD Ameritrade account, but they've lowered that. But
yeah,
it's kind of like that.
Yeah, so there's that
with
in there.
A fee.
Yeah,
every 4 months.
or every 30 seconds in this
Yeah.
one.
Jesus.
So there was that in there. I recommend, if you have Ehrgeiz, you should play the dungeon mode. Just get to near the end and make sure you have a lot of gold. Go in and then blow up your secondary character or one of the characters. And then honestly, you can just power grind. But I would do that with both characters alive. Otherwise, your secondary character is going to starve to death. Because you don't always get the drops you need. But what you can do is just power level the secondary one up to the point where they can get to the end, and then you bring your beefcake in there and you just clean house. So it's not that hard. It just takes some getting used to, and it's very strange. There's a lot of different weapon types. A decent amount of armor that gets dropped. Just make sure you keep everything. It's just like Diablo. Keep everything and sell it all off.
Yeah.
And it got to the point near the end where I kind of had to buy food from the old lady at the marketplace just to have something to not starve slowly. Because the game's greedy as fuck with the meat. Yeah. Give me the meat.
Give me the meat.
Ehrgeiz, we don't have
God
the meat.
bless the meat.
Yeah.
Okay. So the real game.
Yeah.
That's the bonus mode.
That's just another side quest.
The real game consists of 7 levels. And they all have their own backstory of the guy that you're fighting that are in the prologue or that are in the book. They're each in like some zone because of the Ehrgeiz situation going on. By the way, not a single bit of the story is actually in the game.
No.
So if you want to know about Ehrgeiz, you can read the booklet if you're just really a story completionist. I have read the prologue of the booklet and then one of the character things, and that is it. So really, you're just like, it's just an arcade mode. You pick a character, and then you can go up these 7 levels, these 7 stages, I should say.
Yeah.
Until you fight the final boss, which is a dog, which is Django. Django!
Yeah. Once you beat Django, you get credits, and then you get to fight Django Unchained, who just lays waste to your fucking poor body, and then you just get to watch the credits go by as he continues to beat your dead corpse, and then the game's over.
Yeah, and now the fighting in Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, you can of course play against each other, and then there's an extra multiplayer bonus. I would say that the fighting in this game is, what's the word? Clunky?
Yeah. Poor. Lacking.
You point a character in a direction, you press a button, and you hope that they do the thing that you ask them to do. But they don't. There's actually like a bit of a randomness to it. There's a bit of a, I don't know, like, it's such an open experience. Sometimes triangle equals Cloud pulling out the sword, and sometimes it does. Sometimes it just means he's gonna like elbow you with the hand of the handle of the sword and things like that. But you can definitely cheese the fuck out of, just like in Mortal Kombat, honestly, like where you can do like against these computer characters, you could just cheese the fuck out of the like the front kick on when your guy is like on the ground. I don't know what you would call that. Where you just like kick out their legs from under them.
Yeah.
Great move. If you want to beat the game pretty easily, just get a good pattern going there, get a good rhythm going, and you should be able to beat all the guys. But the gameplay in this thing is not great. It's not great. It is considerably less polished than the 3D Mortal Kombat games like Deception and
the Dark Days.
The bad Mortal Kombats. This is far worse than the bad Mortal Kombats in terms of physics is one thing. Of course, it's an older generation. I'll hand it to them. It just hasn't aged well. But also, like, the move set seems to make no sense. The 3D area really just makes it so that everything's just like a big mess. The special moves, which were kind of fun to hit off if you were Tifa, kind of a pain with the other characters. I can't really recommend this fighter. And like in multiplayer, it was kind of fun to beat Schweiss over and over again. Of course, he did do the dungeon mode and was able to beat that. So he's got something over me, but I beat his ass in multiplayer many times.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because I know, when you know this is the type of fighter where you can just cheese the button over and over again, you gotta utilize that. Schweiss refused. Schweiss tried to mix it up.
Yeah.
You can't mix it up, man. You can't, fuck with what's working.
That's true. Don't fix what's not broken.
But one of the best aspects of this game is that actually the arcade mode, the main mode of Ehrgeiz, is kind of multiplayer. Kind of. So you got your 7 stages, right? You have to beat all these 7 guys in order to have God bless your ring or whatever the ending of this game is.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess when Django Unchained kills you, you can then visit God and have him bless your ring.
Exactly.
But then he's like, "Oh, sorry, you didn't get the ring. You lost to Django Unchained."
So, you can actually have a second controller plugged into the PlayStation, and you can press start on that controller as the second player, and then on that map, you will be like subbed in.
Yeah, no consent, by the way.
No. Nope, it doesn't matter what the first player has no control over this. If there's a second controller in there, you press start, they're fucked. Well, they can be. It's possible. Then you fight each other to see who moves on. We thought that's what it actually was, but when I looked up, I was like, how many fucking stages are there? Because we would do what we started to do with like, okay, I'll take this stage, we'll fight the guys, we'll go forward a little bit, and then we'll switch. And then we started seeing stages that we've seen before, and it started to like line up in our heads, and I had to look up, how many levels for this thing, and it was like there was only like 7. And I remember we were at a certain point, it was like, well, maybe it's just adding 1 every time we're fighting each other. So maybe go forward a few, and then we'll hop in. And guys, we played Ehrgeiz for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Before recognizing that actually every time you beat the other character, you start back from the beginning and go forward. So you start at stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and eventually 7. So, I mean, we've gotten close to beating the game. Schweiss has gotten close to actually beating the game many times. Because, we were on like stage 5 or stage 6.
Yeah.
But no, eventually I, took it from him and did all 7 myself and got credits and beat the game.
Yeah, I mean, you could say technically I didn't even beat this fucking thing. Like,
not for a Nude Clan technicality, no.
Yeah, so I guess I better plug it in.
Plug it in.
Yeah. You really not gonna let me count that?
Ehrgeiz. On Nude Clan?
Yeah.
No.
I already put it in the hog. I guess I better beat it then.
It's not going to take long. It's just cheese it for 7 levels and you'll beat the game.
Yeah, but do I want to play it again ever is the question.
Probably not. But do you want the hog?
Yeah,
that's the other question. Because it's maybe 20 minutes to beat the game. It's a really short game. And so, yeah, we went through it. What are your thoughts on the game? I think it's kind of janky, junky. Just didn't age well at all, but also from the reviews, it doesn't seem like it was a great game to begin with.
Yeah, I remember thinking that the 3D thing was cool when I played through it the first time years ago. When I got it, because I bought it and I was like, oh yeah, let's play around with this thing. And I played as Cloud, went through the whole game. I was like,
it's cool to play as Final Fantasy characters in a fighter. That is cool.
Yeah, and it was a novel thing for me back then too when I first got it. And I knocked it out. I probably got raped by Django Unchained. And it was like, man, I don't give a shit. There's credits on the screen. That's cool. Then I played the dungeon mode, and I was like, wow, it's 40 gold to save my game. Yeah, no, sorry. Don't have the money. I'm just going to put this game away for
a few years later.
Yeah, if only I knew a decade from then, I was going to force myself to play it. So, I thought it was cool back then. Now, I think it's clunky, and the fucking opponents are just obsessed with using the 3D. They're like, "Ooh, check it out!
Look! I can jump!
Yeah, I'm gonna
Look at me jump on this platform!
Yeah, I'm gonna jump up this building. I'm on the roof now.
Ooh, special move!
Yeah." I'm like, cool, real great, buddy. Thanks for showcasing the game. This is the game, though. You don't have to do the demo for the game in the game. So it's just kind of clunky. There's a lot of unnecessary stuff. I think graphically the game looks pretty good. Honestly, that's one thing I could say. I think it looks good.
It looks all right.
For 98.
It looks all right for 98. Not that any game from 98 really looks great.
Yeah.
You can only kind of, because it's early, relatively early 3D. The PlayStation came out in 94, right?
I think it was 95, but yeah.
Okay. Looks okay. And again, it's cool seeing like the characters. There's not that much detail in the environments or anything like that. Obviously, there's like platforms and stuff. So there's more detail than other fighting games would have had around the time, but this I think Fighters really. I don't know if anybody's nailed the 3D fighter, but it's not like I'm a fighting game expert. But
yeah,
when Mortal Kombat went back to 2D, Mortal Kombat got good again. And I almost feel like Smash Bros. Has stayed it's kind of 2D. It's not the models are 3D in it, but.
Yeah,
it's really a 2D plane that you're playing the game on. I think fighters are just kind of better that way.
Yeah, this is more like an arcade fighter, which is exactly what it is. I mean, to be fair, it's like one that you would like. Oh yeah, let's fuck around with this.
I guess for an arcade game, it's okay. There's a bit of and maybe this is why they thought it would be a good idea to port Dissidia NT over into a full game. It's because they're like, well, people love it at the arcade.
Yeah.
I think you forgive arcade games a lot that you would never forgive for a $60 game that you would buy now, for example.
Yeah, or $100 game, which I think is what it costs now. Wasn't it like $100 plus? No, for this, not NT.
Oh,
NT is probably worth peanuts.
Ehrgeiz is not worth the price.
Yeah.
You would have to pay to play it legally.
Yeah.
Right now. If you wanted a physical copy of this game for your PlayStation. Oh, by the way, a couple games that we're doing in a row are like this. Not worth it. Not worth the money.
Yeah.
This game is expensive on eBay.
I also had the problem of my little kids opening or pushing the buttons on my PS3, and I came downstairs and this game was on the floor. Luckily, it was the baby who's less destructive than the 2-year-old by a massive margin.
Just less weight to press down on.
Yeah, so he didn't destroy it like my other kid destroyed my $80 Metal Gear Solid collection. So Ehrgeiz is looking good.
Yeah.
I held it up to the light, and I did not see the light through the disc like I did with the Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, no.
And the shitty thing about the Metal Gear Solid is I got to like almost the end of the game. It's like the second to last fight, and the game froze, and I could not get past that.
Oh.
Metal Gear Solid 3. So that's over. But the Ehrgeiz is good to go. I was freaking out though. I was like, this is like $100 game. I don't want to play it again, but I'd like to finish the dungeon mode.
And I would like to keep it.
Yeah, I would like to keep this very nice.
For an investment.
Yeah, and sell it when the wine market.
For $1,000 and.
Yeah, exactly. And then reinvest that into Tobal number 2 copies and then build my portfolio.
That's right.
So, yeah, I had that scare, but it's still looking good. But, yeah, seriously, though, these old PlayStation 1
they're getting up there, dude.
Squaresoft, yeah, or any game.
We're way higher than when we started this show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everything's creeping up.
By a lot. Maybe it's like the stock market.
Especially Chocobo Racing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we're definitely going to play over here because Schweiss already bought it when it was $100 ago.
At least, yeah.
Now it's $200.
Is it really that bad? For used?
Yeah.
Jeez, dude. I think I paid like $40 for that when I bought it.
It's bad.
I mean, I know we're getting some inflation right now, but it's not like 200%.
Sorry, did I say Chocobo Dungeon?
You said racing.
Oh, I meant racing. Okay, yeah, good.
Racing's like a 2-hour game.
Hold on, let me find it. Maybe I have the...
Man, I had some amazing foresight back in the day. Like
Let's get these things now.
Yeah, I had this draw, and it's funny because I bought them all, and then I never played them. So why did I keep buying them? I just sensed it. I knew that some point in the future,
auction pre-owned 127.59 is the lowest.
Oh, okay.
Open box 173.90. Brand new 4,000 is the price that they put up on it.
No one's gonna bid.
All right, so it's over $100.
Yeah, I did spend.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like 150, 160 is kind
just
of
a straight up buy. Yeah, that's
dude.
a lot.
Fuck.
I did buy my copy of Xenogears Black Label. I think it was $140 or like 150. I spent a lot of money on that thing. I was like ashamed. I was like, Alex, can I do this? Because like this seems like something I should not be allowed to do. And she's bad with money, so she's like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead and buy it. I'm like, are you sure? Like, because I want to kill me right now for even thinking about it, and I think you should want to kill me for doing it. But no. And I bought 2 copies of Chocobo Dungeon 2 because I bought a shitty one that I thought was fucking Black Label and like in good condition, but really it's just the disc, and that's the one I gave Joe, my leavings.
Yeah, the one disc one. It's working.
No, yeah, that's good. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll just sell it again later, I guess. Yeah. Because it's like the wine market. I just got to wait for the wine to get back up to the price. So I bought that one twice. So I guess I've paid. That's probably the most expensive game I've bought.
Chocobo Dungeon twice.
Yeah.
Chocobo Dungeon 2 twice.
But man, these things are expensive as hell.
They're getting up there, man.
And like the Rising Zan game, and I bought that. Admittedly, I bought it from a store that's kind of notorious for being overpriced. It was like $50. And they had a Diablo 1 PS1 port, which I wanted real bad. Because that thing is not that common, and it's pretty fucking cool. To be able to play Diablo 1 on like a PlayStation, like that's fucking legit. When I played it back in the day, I was so excited that it was on a PS1. I was like, what the fuck? That thing was like, that was like $160 there. And so I was like, nah, I can't do that. But
jeez.
These PS1 games are getting way up there, though, is what I'm getting at.
We're only, let's see, how many PS1 games do we have left? We got Racing, Dungeon 2.
Yeah, Racing.
Because Dungeon 1's not in the United States. And then Xenogears, Chrono Cross.
Chrono Cross, yeah. I think that might be
just
it.
Those 4? And we got them.
Yeah, we got all of them.
We got them. We got them.
We got them, boys. Our wallets are safe. The damage has already been done. Yeah, it's just insane to me how much they've gone up. Like I flirt with the idea of collecting all the PS1 games, and now they're fucking the new stock market. It's like you got to diversify with like 20% gold, 20% silver, and then 60% PlayStation 1 games.
Jesus.
It rises with the inflation. It's inflation proof. It's crazy though, like and it just gets worse. And like even DS games, I'm starting to notice are starting to get up there, and like
that's
everything.
It's true.
Everything.
Someone in the chat asked if we have 2 copies of Xenogears, and the answer is yes. I bought it when I either bought it when there was a good deal at the game store on a greatest hits copy, or I bought it during the PlayStation, like the Square Enix sale, like a few years back, where they still like are putting out PS1 games. One of those was Chrono Cross, one of those was Xenogears, and that's the answer to that. So
yeah,
I got both.
I bought mine on Facebook Marketplace, and I was watching it. It was a Black Label, like basically in mint condition.
Jeez.
And I want to say I paid $160, which
that seems high because eBay was putting it at like 120 or something.
Yeah,
120 plus.
I went through a couple of bids, and it just didn't. I couldn't win the bid, and then I was like, "Fuck it." Like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, so other aspects of Ehrgeiz, I guess we can kind of go, like we talked about graphics for a little bit. I think the music was pretty unmemorable. I remember like the first like 3 chords of the dungeon mode song when you're out in the town kept on reminding me of a fucking pop song.
Yeah.
And that was driving me absolutely nuts. I can't remember it at the moment though, so I guess you guys can be spared my singing rendition of whatever song it was. But yeah, that's really all there was to that there. It's really, I think in general for me, it's just kind of a mess of a game. It's just messy. I mean, it's cool that the dungeon mode like kind of works actually. But the fighting game, I don't think it aged that well. Not that I really have played many or any 3D fighting games from the PS1 era. They exist, but I don't think I've played them.
Yeah.
So I don't really have anything to compare it to on that side of things. Only the PS2 kind of stuff where I have played a lot of fighters.
Yeah, I think I played like a Mortal Kombat port on PS1, which was awesome because it was Mortal Kombat 1. So yeah, there's really not much to compare it to. You're kind of right. It's just kind of like it's one of those things that should not be, you know what I mean? It's like, it's something that they're like, there's not one of these. And then the thought should have been, well, I mean, why is there not one of these? And then it's like, oh yeah, because that's a really stupid idea. But Square thinks there's not one of these. We must make it now. Like 3D PS1 fighting game. It plays exactly like you think it sounds. Yeah.
If you thought the PS2 era was bad with fighting games, you have no idea.
Just you fucking wait. Yeah, so it's in a world of its own, a league of its own. Yeah, I don't know. As far as the fighting goes, yeah, it's just kind of clunky, and it is super spammy. You know, like there is a block and stuff, but the controls are just so clunk that it's kind of hard to do anything in this thing.
Get clunk.
Yeah, and you know, the dungeon mode has a little bit of that too. There's a little bit of clunk going on all over the place.
I thought that the controls in dungeon mode far outstripped the actual game of Ehrgeiz.
Yeah, I think the big reason,
simpler, but
the big reason why is because they didn't operate on like a y-axis at all. Basically, like you could jump, but you're not like fucking jumping up and like climbing shit. It's just a jump, and then you can do a sweet swirly attack that just fucking levels.
Yeah, you take out that toilet from your ass and then shove them in there. You know, that swirly attack.
The old swirly. Give him a swirly.
Give him the old swirly.
Yeah, come on. Come on, Koji. Give him the old swirly. Yeah.
Claire.
Yeah.
Elaine.
Yeah. I did that a few times. Yeah. When I went back to the hotel, I was just like, Carnby. Elaine.
You guys should check out the Nude Clan review of what the fuck is that game?
Alone in the Dark.
Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare, which is a terrible game, much worse than Ehrgeiz.
Oh yeah. I wonder how much that game's going for.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, honestly, any amount is too much.
So I have a review here from Greg Troyan, who sent us an email. By the way, I was on Greg Troyan's show the other day, so if you want to go check out the Greg Troyan show on YouTube, please do, and you can check out his interview with me. We caught up, and then we talked for like 3 hours after the interview.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Greg Troyan says, I'm not going to write a book like I've done with previous reviews I've sent to you, and I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, is a game I loved as a kid and have a heavy nostalgia towards. My favorite genres outside of JRPGs are platformers, fighting games, and racing games, and at the time, this was the only fighting game where you could play as a Final Fantasy character. I loved FF7 and loved fighting games like Tekken 2, so for me, this game was the shit. Playing as Cloud, Tifa, Sephiroth, Zack, Vincent, and Yuffie was incredibly fun and what sold me on the game. I also liked how the final boss's alternate costume kind of looked like Red 13.
Yeah.
Schweiss doesn't. He keeps on making fun of it. Giving you one extra FF7 character to the mix. That said, I dug the original characters as well. God Hand, what a badass name, was a cool fighting game protag, and I remember letting Inoba's ending play on loop because it tickled my humor bone just right. The gameplay was fun and unique for a fighting game at the time. Being able to roam a 3D space with objects was something you simply did not see in fighting games back then. A lot of fighting game snobs criticize the game as not being a good fighting game, but I'm not sure as to why. I acknowledge I'm not part of the tournament scene, and some gameplay nuances that may infuriate purists are lost on me. Perhaps it's from the lack of combos or maybe balancing issues within the range of certain weapons. That's definitely there.
That's a lack of fun, but
but I find no issues with the gameplay and find it to be generally smooth and responsive. The mini games are fun, in particular the beach and racing mini games. God damn it, Greg! You had to go. You just always have to be a contrarian, don't you?
Yeah. This is what fun feels like, right? No, that's what torture feels like.
It's all right. It's his opinion. But I was not a fan of the quest mode and found it rather boring.
Fuck you. God damn it.
It's just an opposite land, always.
Yeah.
All right. I found it kind of boring. At last, a quick comment on the subtitle, God Bless the Ring. That shit is awesome. As a kid who got into lots of fist fights and was involved in martial arts, the poetry and respect of combat is something that speaks to me. And the over-the-top idea of saying God Bless the Ring is perfection on a level with the philosophies displayed in G Gundam. Campy and silly, but awesome. Overall, a fun nostalgia trip and a solid fighter. It's fun and still plays well. The music is cool and the graphics have that PS1 charm. No big complaints with this one. Thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Greg likes it.
Yeah. So we have one more review.
I didn't hate it, to be fair. I was just like,
No,
I just don't think it's good.
No, yeah, we don't have the nostalgia either. I mean, I remember being like, "Oh, cool! I did Meteor Strike. That was fun." That's like the thing I remember from playing it and then beating it in no time, and then that was it. So we got one review from Shori Elemente. Says, I remember riding my bike in the rain to rent Ehrgeiz. Because that video store had a phone alert thing for when your reservation's in. That dungeon mode was amazing for the time. See, this is a man speaking to me. Same video store, I rented whatever games I wanted whenever I want, as long as I never told mom about all the porn my dad rented from there. LOL. So I got a little bit of psychological damage attached to the game. I can relate.
Yeah. I don't think we got any questions for the game.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. So thank you for the reviews, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Greg. And thank you, Shuri. Shuri actually came on after a long time.
Yeah, he's been gone.
For a while. Yeah.
Ehrgeiz will forevermore be nevermore. Just to bring it back to our 2 reviews ago, I guess. I forget about Mario Hoops.
Oh, Mario Whoops.
Mario Hoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Ehrgeiz.
Man, it's such a weird area of the podcast. We're getting some real fucking strange shit going on here.
Well, the next game is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
And where do they go on from there, by the way? What's the next subtitle on Smash Bros. When the next generation of game stuff comes out?
I don't know. It can't get any better than Ultimate.
It can't get any bigger than Ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Penultimate just means ultimate. It's a synonym.
That's true, yeah.
So more than Ultimate, the God Hand. Super Smash Bros. God Hand.
Yeah. Super Smash Bros. Gaze. That's the only way forward.
Ehrgeiz.
Angry ass black dude in the chat here says Ehrgeiz or Ehrgeiz or Guys Gaze.
Guys Gaze. Yeah. Hopefully we have some extra little bonus after the credits, by the way, for you guys. I don't know if we will, but I think we might.
Yeah. Super Smash Bros. Is Ehrgeiz.
No.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, there's like no legacy to this game. Other than that it was like a.
I've actually heard so I heard for many, like, there's like his FF8 review, Spoonie's FF8 review. He mentioned Ehrgeiz, where he's like, "Oh, I've actually met some jackoffs at a convention who thought that Ehrgeiz and the Bouncer were really good games." He's basically talking about people who would blow Square Enix. Basically, every time they put out a game, they would love it, even though they put out shitty games like Ehrgeiz and the Bouncer. And that's the only time I've ever heard Ehrgeiz mentioned. And of course, I've seen that FF8 review like a million times. So
Yeah, I guess as far as pop culture goes, that's probably the only time it has been mentioned. Isn't there like an Einhander game too that they made? Is that something that happened?
I don't know.
Oh my god. It is. Einhander. Einhander over my Ehrgeiz immediately.
The Ehrgeiz uses Einhander.
Yeah. You must Einhander over my Ehrgeiz immediately. What the fuck? I forgot about this. I just have like vague memories of Germanic sounding Square games from the PlayStation era. It's a thing.
It's that allyship between Japan and Germany, man.
Yeah,
let it go.
They're road dogs for life. The fucking Axis for life, bro.
Access for life.
Yeah. Where's all the Italian games?
They just don't make games. So.
Oh, Mario 3-on-3.
No, that's Japanese. Oh shit!
Yeah.
They do got like a little bit of a
little bit of triangle going on.
Stir in that Italian and that German, you know.
Yeah,
just a little bit of fascism.
Yeah, goes a long ways for the video game. Yeah, it's a scrolling shooter developed by Square for the PlayStation.
Oh, it's a shooter. There you go.
Man.
So that was Ehrgeiz. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on it.
Not really.
Not really, yeah.
I just...
So the next review is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So if you have ever played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I'm asking you to send a review to fffanatics123@gmail.com or join our Discord. The link should be in the description of the episode. When you join that Discord, there's an Ultima area, and then there's a little reviews and questions area. Put your reviews, put your questions. If you got questions, if you want us, the reason for the questions is so that we touch on something that you don't want us to forget about, basically. So if you want to ask us a question about our experience playing Super Smash Bros., please do it there. Now, I will tell you, we have changed our mind about how we're going about Smash Bros. Because apparently there are two totally separate modes of Smash Bros. And they both give you credits. And given the fact that we do not want to play Smash Bros. For 30 hours, we have decided to just do the arcade mode of Smash Bros. And call it good. So hopefully you're not too disappointed in that. But if you have a review of the story mode or whatever, then please send it our way anyway, and we'll read it on the show.
Chances are we're not going to appreciate this game as much as you guys, because neither of us, we're like the two people out of our group of friends that don't really care about Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. Yeah, I played a lot of Melee, and it's still never gotten like to the point where I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's like a weird, I don't know what it is about the game. I'm just like, I don't know. It's fun as a party, but I always get my ass fucking
we've heard a few things about that quest mode, that it's just like really fucking hard, and it's basically like making you an expert at the game. You know, there was like a story mode in Melee that I have beaten, or at least some sort of mode that went on and then the game ended. So I don't remember if it was actually a story mode, but that was pretty short. Like that was like a 2-hour experience, and this one's like really fucking long. And also, we're getting credits with the other mode. We'll be able to play Cloud with the other mode. So in that case, we're just not going to worry about it. It's covering our bases as far as the show is concerned. So
yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I don't know. I know that might be disappointing to a few people, but yeah, I don't want to play Smash forever just to get good at it to not play it again.
Not if there's credits in the other mode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and this is kind of a weird part of the podcast anyway, where we're only doing this because people are like in the games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need to like master the fucking games to move on.
And then I've also broken my own personal rule lately, and I'll just confess, I've already started Chocobo Dungeon and Chocobo World.
Wow.
Because of I'm making a movie in February. At least that's the plan. The fact that Chocobo, the fact that just playing video games in general is just like finding the time for that. It's going to be really difficult, and I still want to get ahead as much as I can in these games. And so when I've gotten some spare moments, I have booted up Chocobo World on the computer, which basically plays itself. So it's not like I have to be like there playing the whole time. And I just started Chocobo Dungeon as well. Just to get ahead on it because it's a longer game. That's like an 18-hour campaign from How Long to Beat time. So going a little ahead, doing the Chocobo stuff just a little bit. I don't know. I think I'll be... I don't know if we'll be able to... There might be a bit of a gap between the Smash Bros. Review and the Chocobo reviews just because of my life at that point. And I just want to get ahead as much as I can. But and that's the reason.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy in like the next month.
Yeah.
You?
So if you guys could follow me on YouTube, let's do that. And I'm putting out a vlog, basically, every day that I can. Put out a vlog about the making of my next movie, Chicken Coop. We will be running a Kickstarter campaign for that. For those of you who backed 13th Cross, thank you very much. And there will be a release of that movie on December 14th, which will probably be before this episode comes out or right around there. So if you guys could go rent the 13th Cross or buy the 13th Cross if you didn't support the thing. If you did support the campaign for 13th Cross, there should be an old email somewhere telling you to go and watch it for free on Vimeo. So please do that and let me know what you think of the movie. Unless you fucking hated it more than life, I don't need to hear that opinion.
Yeah, then don't let us know.
Don't let me know that. But I am far enough away from the movie. I can receive some criticism. I definitely have criticisms of it myself. Don't worry. So if you guys could go check that out, follow Chicken Coop Movie on Facebook and Instagram, or just follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to kind of stay in touch there. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Joseph DeGollier.
I'm at UFF Podcast.
And yeah, that's really all I got. You got anything else, Schweiss?
We are going to be having a guest on Nude Clan very soon that's going to be related to the Final Fantasy series.
Oh, big time related to the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah, now maybe not as big time as you're thinking now that we said big time, but definitely...
Yeah, it's not Tetsuya Nomura or anything, or on that level. But
yeah. But if you've ever wondered why exactly Tabata quit Final Fantasy 15...
What?
You're going to still be wondering that.
Oh, okay.
After you listen to this. But
dude, I was ready for that shit.
There's some cool stuff in this episode.
You sold me on that.
Should we tell them who it's going to be? I mean,
yeah, because you're going to put that Nude Clan episode out.
Probably before
Wednesday,
this,
right?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close to this. All right, so it's Alexander O. Smith. He's one of the translators and people involved with the Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 10, and 11, and also Vagrant Story translation and writing.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Schweiss did an interview with him.
I did, yeah.
And it will be on Nude Clan.
Yeah, so guys, check that out. That'll be very relatable to you. There's a lot of interesting things that we talked about and things that I never knew and things that were really weird that happened in Final Fantasy X especially, and he's got some explanations as to why certain things happened a certain way. So
nice.
As far as line delivery and
they weren't even laughing.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of great insights on that episode. So please check that out. It's going to be
awesome.
A lot of fun. Scheduling conflicts have basically prevented us from recording Nude Clan when we normally do, which is tomorrow as we record this.
Yeah.
So we're going to put that out in place of that, and it's really good. I think you guys will really enjoy it, so check that out.
Sweet.
And
all right.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
Enjoy the grind.
Ehrgeiz sind fighting this cloud. The Sephiroth sword in your mouth. No dust and boobs in Antifa. No dust, boobs, and never. Except on der Pex de Mishima. Ja, ich homophobic songen. God hen ich schwül. Handean ich schwül. Brennstoße ist wer schwül. Cloud ist am Schwürsten. Gees. Sehr gees. We're all fucking gay. Na, das wird putzen. Das, die sind nicht gut, Jim. China,